Contextual targeting is a targeted and automated form of digital advertising. And these advertising techniques where ads are placed based on the content of a particular web page. For example, let us say you are running an active wear company. In this case, you might use contextual targeting to place ads for gym clothing. So on the web page that discusses workout routines or review protein powders, so that could be essentially the right place where you can have something called as the contextual targeting of advertisements. And these things always allows your ads to show up on web pages that have content that's closely related to your products or services, and it always allows the advertisers to display ads that are relevant to the website's content instead of using the visitors data. And there are several type of contextual targeting methods that businesses can use to run those ads. And when we start looking at uh, these things, uh, sometimes it tends to explain a lot of things, uh, to what extent people are interested in looking at something called as the contextual targeting. The contextual targeting is some of uh, its key benefits are with respect to placing of ad at a right place, looking at in what context that the ad has to be displayed to the end users. And these are few of the things that usually we need to take into consideration while looking at the contextual targeting. And when we talk in terms of the types, here we have something called as the behavioral targeting, wherein which we can take an example of behavior targeting as one of the retargeting ads. And here in this practice segments, the customers are basically based on the browsing behavior, or we tend to see what behavior does a customer has shown previously while browsing this particular web page. And this makes a lot of sense with respect to achieving this sort of behavioral targeting, in terms of in what context does a customer is trying to browse that particular page, so on and so forth. And when we look at the contextual targeting, we basically look at something called as a keyword contextual targeting. Here our ads are placed on the web page based on the target keywords that are basically very much specific, and this type of contextual targeting usually provides the users with more flexibility and potentially more accuracy when you are trying to place these ads. And mainly, many people tend to confuse contextual targeting with behavioral targeting, while the contextual and behavioral targeting are both forms of targeting advertising. But there are some key differences between these two methods. And when we are talking with respect to the contextual targeting, it mainly focuses on setting where the users are browsing, while behavioral targeting is basically geared towards the users themselves. And we can also say that no matter what type of contextual targeting as an organization you are trying to use, the key method that are basically used here is with respect to the placement of ads, which are basically based on the content of a web page but not on the behavior. And the behavior targeting, on the other hand, takes into account the user actions and behavioral pattern, basically with respect to the browsing behavior. And these are few of the things that basically we look at with respect to understanding both the behavior as well as the contextual targeting. Next thing is with respect to the search retargeting, and here it mainly comprises of serving of display ads to the user when browsing uh, the web to their keyword search behavior. And keywords are one of the important aspect of contextual advertising, wherein which the keyword contextual targeting always tries to place your ads on the web pages based on the target keywords. and that will also helps you to specify this type of contextual targeting, which usually provides you with a potential functionality on targeting with your users who are basically trying to go through your web pages. And while looking at the site retargeting, it is one of the most common form of retargeting that usually consists of showing ads to the users that have visited your website but left without completing a purchase or taking an action that was interested in your content. And in these cases, usually the companies would like to send another what you call as a email advertisements indicating that the purchase was incomplete during the previous visits to your XYZ website, so on and so forth. And if you start clicking that particular link, you can complete your purchasing. So like that, those sort of site retargeting will be done. And next thing is with respect to predictive targeting. Here, in case of predictive targeting, the company always try to use the data collected using behavior targeting, and it will always try to add a bit of third party data into the mix and analyze the and analyzes and predicts the buying pattern with the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning, which are very much essential in case of display advertising to understand in what situation the customer is going to purchase this particular product. And they usually predict that which is the ideal time that this person is going to purchase this or not. And while looking at some of the key benefits of contextual targeting, it has got many benefits which are worth to be considered when it has been used very effectively. And some of those things are contextual targeting can always helps you to reach a wider and more relevant audiences for your products and services. And some of the key benefits are it is that the contextual targeting always enables you to quickly reach to a receptive audience. And it is one of the most affordable advertising method that a person can use, and the most sophisticated digital marketing tactics being used today. And one of its more appealing points is its affordability. Setting up a contextual targeting campaign always tends to be more simple and more affordable than something like a behavioral marketing campaigns. Thus, the contextual targeting always allows the businesses with a relatively small marketing budget to display the relevant ads, and also to get more big on whatever the money they are invested. And contextual targeting is very much easier to implement because it doesn't require significant amount of time or data to set up, but instead a company will always get a contextual targeting campaign going in just a few steps. And contextual targeting can always provide you some sort of personalized ad experiences, which is extremely important in digital marketing. And in fact, according to a report that is being given by Epsilon, uh, in here almost 80% of the consumers can always claim that they are more likely to conduct business with a company that have more personalized experiences. And when we tend to provide personalized experiences, the interaction can be at a very great way to engage with your audiences, and it always helps to build a relationship with your customers. And using an all-in-one marketing platforms like Mailchimp and other display ads, it creates a very good engaging aspect with respect to having something called as a location targeting to sending messages based on the past behavior. And these things are one of the important aspects which helps us to increase sales. And more sales means a bigger bottom line, which can enable you to scale up your businesses as well as to reach to the greater heights. And contextual targeting basically can be used as a tool that can always help you to increase your sales and services as well as relevant ads to a receptive audiences. And thus, by expanding your audiences through contextual targeting, you can also always try to get more people to visit your business websites as well as to increase sales. And the contextual marketing in particular is effective because it allows you to provide value for users, given the fact that they are already engaged with some of the key aspects related to your product or your services.